Hello, it's Alex and I'm here at Bury Classics with Lyndon and Tom. Lyndon and Tom are trying to get the brakes to work on the Sunbeam today, but I'll be over there looking at the replacement automatic gearbox for my P6. Oh, go on then, we'll have a sneak look at the Sunbeam. I'll get in Lyndon's way. He's trying to figure out why this brake compensator valve is leaking. And poor Tom is in there with his foot on the brake because he doesn't want to let air get in the system. This is the replacement automatic gearbox I got for Mr. Jenkins. It looks horrible because it's been sat in the workshop for, I don't know, feels like a year. Probably has been. Yeah, I think it came here before lockdown, so yeah, probably a couple of years. Oh dear. Anyway, whoever removed it has savagely chopped the prop shaft, so I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove the linkages, take off some of these pipes, and then get the sump off to have a look and see what sort of mess it's in inside. These are really tight.
Really? No, they can't. Oh, you mean the nut off the top? Oh yeah, just I think, yeah, because that's not actually glass, it's coming out of there, then. It's coming out of that top there. It could be down to the excellent quality. Sort of timber down some of them. Yeah, and anything that needs doing. Smart
Got ya.
Right,
Right, that's that bit of prop off. We go in the bin. Next thing I want to do is get these linkages off. I've never removed these linkages before. I mean, it looks like just a cup and ball. I don't want to force it. I wonder if I can undo this. Oh, that's changing gear. They look like they're sort of capable of breaking. They look like a weak plastic material, but it might just be a cover over them. They should come off. There we are. I always put the nuts back on threads so they don't get lost. Yeah, that's a little ball, cup and ball jobby.
Basically a service.
It looks like.
Yeah, second-hand survey. A lot of rally boys have just taken them off and chuck them in the bin. Then you're in the bias box.
Don't forget that's not something.
It's all plastic. How is it even strong enough?
Yeah, there's a lot to be checking.
What's that off?
Is that it, isn't it? I know what it is, that's what kills.
Life must be an adventure, real adventure.
I'll get there, I was there. Oh yeah, I remember her. Well, I couldn't tell you who she is or where she lives.
No, it is quite complex to kill, isn't it?
And you want to make sure you block these holes up so you don't get shit in there. There's lots of shit in this gearbox. That'll do. I got Tom helping me, trying to get this gearbox mount off. Look at that. The expert. He's done it. Well, he's doing it anyway.
Might turn with Lyndon's grips now.
Yes. See the rubber on this is knackered, so I can't reuse that. So it just twists off. I'll say just twists off. Obviously it hammers off. There we are. It's off. I'll try and find a new one of those. Now there doesn't seem to be a sump plug as such on this gearbox. The only way I can see of getting the oil out is by undoing the dipstick tube, which I want to get off anyway. Yeah, so I need to find a big spanner, and then probably the oil's going to drip out and go into this oil bath. Oof. Better keep my camera away from that. I didn't have the right size spanner for this. The biggest spanner we had here is 30mm, and it was bigger than that. So
Servo, I might have to take a second-hand servo.
Tom used that and a hammer,
Yes, well...
and we got it off without damaging it, so that's good.
If there's kit available for that.
And hopefully
Because if you could get a second
you'll see the oil come out. Well, it's not oil, it's fluid.
Yeah, but I say, well, I remember showing it to Mark, you wouldn't have got the thing out.
No, but if you had if you've got a second hand one,
There it is.
it's slightly better condition.
I see what you mean, yeah.
You could overhaul.
Still red.
Put it on.
Doesn't look like there's lots of bits coming out.
Yeah, it's a problem. This is a
Cool.
problem with some rooms.
This is it, such a niche
If
market.
it was an MG or a Ford, you could just push it a bit further down.
Well, that's as much off as I'm going to take off. I'll leave the kick down cable dangling there. I don't think there's any need for that to come off. It's just a ring of bolts for the sump now. So I'll undo the bolts, and then we'll see if we can get the gearbox off of the sump and put the gearbox on the clean paper. But yeah, I think we might end up tipping it upside down and hitting it with a hammer, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, I need to do the tracking anyway.
You will when you've done the plan.
Yeah, I think I need to do the tracking now.
There's no key.
Yeah, that's what the tracking you do anyway for the things now.
Yes, yeah. No point doing it now.
No.
It'll be quite firm. It worked then.
Check me out. Check me out. The filter must be still on the gearbox though.
Yes, it is.
We'll tip it up in a minute and have a look. But there is the sump, and there's not all lumps of black in there, it's just a bit of damp, probably from just where it's been sat around. That's the sump all cleaned up, the old gasket scraped off, all the old muck scraped off. Now it's time to tip the gearbox over and have a look at the filter. That's better. Ooh. Wow. There it is. Never really looked inside of a automatic gearbox.
No.
Look at that. That's the inside of the automatic gearbox. Borg 35. I have no idea what I'm looking at, but I think it all looks very clean in there, which is good. I think, yes, this is the filter. So we'll unscrew this and see if we can clean it up. I say, I've got no real idea what I'm looking at here. All I know is that we don't want to be dropping anything in here, she says as she drops the screw in. Yes. So I guess this sucks the fluid up through here, and that's why the filter is here, because the dirt on the filter is on the outside, not the inside of things. I'll go and clean this off and put it back. I think that's all I can do in there. I just have to get these bits of gasket off without dropping them inside the gearbox. Another thing I found inside the sump is this rough piece of metal, which is actually a magnet. And there's loads of little bits, well not loads, but well yeah, loads of tiny, tiny bits of swarf, which I presume is normal because my sump plug in the Allegro, because it's gearbox in sump, the sump plug on the Allegro has got a magnet on it to collect any bits of swarf. So I presume this has this in to collect any bits of swarf. I don't think it's anything to worry about. I should put it back where I found it, and it can collect future pieces of swarf. Well, seeing as the sump's off, let's have a good old look inside. As I say, I don't know what I'm looking at. There's a big cog there. I've been told there's bands. I'm not sure what the bands look like. Is that what I'm looking at there? All these pipes. This looks like some sort of, almost like a piston. I don't know. I think that's the bands I can see on there. Right down in there, behind that pipe. I'm not sure. But I don't think that looks bad. This here is the kickdown cable, and that looks healthy, so I'm not gonna touch that. Sorry about the noise, the compressor's on now because I've just blown this filter out with the airline and put some sort of panel white, you know, degreaser type stuff, and then I sprayed it with the airline and put it back on, so that's ready to go. So it all looks very clean here. Annoyingly, I didn't buy a new gasket so I can't sort of finish it, so I'm going to put that on loosely for now and put a cover over it. Hopefully it won't do any harm with it being sat on its side, and then when I get a gasket I will come and fit it and maybe give the body a bit of a clean up. I don't want to start cleaning up now and risk any dirt getting in here, so I'll just let it be and come back to it another time. Well, that's enough gearbox action for today. The sump's on loosely until I've got the new gasket. I'll see you again. Thanks for watching. Bye.